Did you know that less than 100 years ago, the land we now call Saudi Arabia was a place of many small kingdoms, tribes, and deserts with no single flag? Long ago, before Saudi Arabia was created, the Arabian Peninsula was a wide desert land. It was full of sand dunes, dry valleys, and rocky mountains. Life was not easy there. Rain was rare, water was precious, and survival was a daily challenge. At that time, Arabia was not one nation. Instead, it was divided into many regions and tribes. Each tribe had its own leader. Each family fought for power. Some groups lived in cities, while others were nomads, moving with their camels and sheep from one place to another in search of water and grass. Two cities, however, were very famous: Mecca and Medina. These were the holy cities of Islam. Every year, pilgrims came from faraway lands to perform Hajj. Mecca and Medina gave Arabia spiritual importance, but politically, Arabia remained divided. Part 2. The Dream of a Young Leader. In the middle of the desert, in a region called Najd, there was a young man named Abdulaziz ibn Saud. He belonged to the House of Saud, a family that once ruled parts of Central Arabia. But the Saud family had lost power many years earlier, and their rivals controlled the land. Abdulaziz grew up with a vision. He wanted to bring unity to Arabia. He wanted to restore his family's power and give peace to a land divided by conflict. In the year 1902, when Abdulaziz was only 26 years old, he decided to act. With just a small group of followers, he set out on a dangerous mission to recapture Riyadh, the old capital of his ancestors. Part 3. The Capture of Riyadh. The night was dark and cold. Abdulaziz and his men quietly approached the Masmak fortress in Riyadh. The fortress was guarded by the rival family, the Al-Rashid clan. Abdulaziz knew this was his chance. If he won Riyadh, he could begin his dream of uniting Arabia. With bravery and clever planning, Abdulaziz and his men attacked. After a short but intense fight, they were victorious. Riyadh was his once again. This victory was small in size, but it was huge in meaning. It marked the rebirth of the House of Saud and the first step toward creating Saudi Arabia. Part 4. Years of Struggle. After Riyadh, Abdulaziz did not stop. He spent many years fighting battles, making alliances, and slowly expanding his control. The deserts of Arabia were not easy to conquer. The people were proud, independent, and loyal to their tribes. But Abdulaziz was patient. He was not only a fighter, but also a leader who understood politics. He made agreements with tribes. He respected their customs. He gave them protection and support. In return, they gave him loyalty. Step by step, his territory grew. For almost 30 years, Abdulaziz worked tirelessly. He faced rivals, wars, and betrayals. But with determination, he continued his mission. Part 5. The Holy Cities. One of Abdulaziz's biggest dreams was to gain control of the holy cities, Mecca and Medina. These cities were under the rule of the Hashemite family, who were supported by the British. Controlling Mecca and Medina was not only a political goal, but also a spiritual duty. Whoever ruled these cities would earn great respect from Muslims around the world. In the early 1920s, Abdulaziz moved toward the west. His warriors, known as the Ikhwan, were strong Bedouin fighters. After a series of battles, Abdulaziz was able to capture Mecca in 1924 and Medina soon after. This was a turning point. Now he controlled the heart of Islam. Part 6. Toward Unity. By the late 1920s, Abdulaziz had unified Najd, the central region, Hejaz, the western region with Mecca and Medina, and large parts of eastern Arabia. But unity was not easy. Some of his own fighters, the Ikhwan, became difficult to control. They wanted to continue raiding neighboring countries, but Abdulaziz wanted peace and recognition from the world. After a final conflict, Abdulaziz defeated the rebellious Ikhwan and established stronger control. In 1932, Abdulaziz achieved his dream. He officially declared the creation of a new country, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. He became its first king, and Riyadh became the capital. For the first time in history, most of the Arabian Peninsula was united under one flag. Part 8. The Discovery of Oil. At first, Saudi Arabia was poor. Its main income came from pilgrims visiting Mecca and Medina. But soon, everything changed. In the 1930s, American companies discovered oil in the eastern region of Saudi Arabia. The discovery of oil transformed the kingdom. Suddenly, Saudi Arabia became important not only in the Muslim world, but also in the global economy. The black gold under the desert brought wealth, development, and power. Abdulaziz, now king, used this new wealth carefully. He built roads, schools, and hospitals. He began to modernize his kingdom while keeping strong Islamic traditions. King Abdulaziz ruled Saudi Arabia until his death in 1953. He left behind a strong, united kingdom and many sons who later became kings after him. His legacy was not only the unification of tribes and lands, but also the foundation of a modern state. Today, Saudi Arabia is one of the most influential countries in the Middle East and the world. It is the home of Islam's holiest cities, Mecca and Medina, and one of the largest oil producers on earth. The story of Saudi Arabia is the story of one man's vision, courage, and determination. From desert tribes to a powerful nation, this is how Saudi Arabia was created.